How long am I expecting this to be, brother?
Normally I about 2 hours.
2 hours? Okay.
Yeah, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, maybe an hour and a half might be easier for me. All right, let's go.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Skinny Moose, and we brought on the Green Phantom today. So, what made you want to become a wrestler?
Um, you know, I was just playing around. I guess the inner kid in me. I've always been a fan of wrestling since I was a little kid, and when I was given the opportunity in my early 20s to join a show, I just jumped in.
I understand that. Oh yeah. So, a fan question: will you speak on fighting Necro Butcher in Tournament of Death?
Um, what a match! Pretty intense match. Um, Whenever I travel abroad in Japan or Mexico or in the U.S., whatever it is, uh, many fans bring up that match. So it's something that is a real part of my career because so many fans always talk about that match, and so I'm thankful for it. Um, but at the same time, it was not sustainable for me as a wrestling match in the sense that I couldn't do that every day because I broke my nose and it was so tough in that aspect. You can't you like can't break your nose in every match and just work like that. So while I'm thankful for it, it's cool. It's brought me places, but I probably don't want to do that type of match too often.
Yeah, I understand that. So, would he say there's a difference? Would you say there's a difference between Canadian death matches and American death matches?
Um, I'd say yeah. I mean, from my experience, at least the U.S. Wrestlers have went to more extremes. I would say, um, like there's a lot of I'd say that there's a lot more blood and guts death matching in the U.S. It just
Oh yeah,
not sure if it's just because of the population difference. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just it is there's subtle differences. Not everybody there's similar styles everywhere, but definitely when I started doing death matches here in Canada 25 years ago, there was none of that around here. Um, death matching wasn't. It was getting in Japan. I guess the U.S. It was starting well, um, but back then it was a very unique thing. So, and I'd say back then, especially in the Montreal scene with IWS, we were very proud that we put the wrestling into deathmatch wrestling. We weren't so blood and guts. Which I mean, there's nothing wrong with the blood and guts style. It's nothing. It's not something we tried to do, especially. I mean, we had it, but yeah,
yeah.
so in the beginning, especially, more wrestling within that deathmatch wrestling, I would say for sure would be the difference.
Um, how was working in BJW in your time in Japan?
Amazing. It was really fun. It was a dream come true. Every wrestler, if they're gonna say they're a wrestler at some point, there's a couple of things you have to accomplish in your career, and I think wrestling at Corcoran Hall is one of those. Those wrestling things you have to do if you're going to call yourself an accomplished wrestler. So that was really fun. And so I go there every year now. I do a tour, even though I still have a life here. I go back once a year, do a little tour just to feel like a star again for a few weeks. And what's interesting about that, my first match in Japan, I'll tell you a story. It's very serendipitous in the sense that a few years ago, I was on my way to Chicago to wrestle Necro Butcher again, like a part two. This is I don't know, 15 years ago, and I was in the car with Sexy Eddie. You know him; he's the best. Um, he crashed the car, so we didn't make it to that match
Shit.
in Chicago. Whatever. Didn't think much of it at the time. It was a shame, but whatever. Then just 3 years ago, I was on my way to Chicago again. This time to wrestle Akira and a guy named Satu Jin,
Oh,
and I got stopped at the border and I got turned around. I didn't have the proper work permit, whatever. So I didn't get to wrestle in Chicago specifically. I didn't get to wrestle Necro Butcher, and I didn't get to wrestle Akira and Satu Jin. My first match in Japan, I walked backstage, and all those three guys are my tag team partners. It's so fucking weird. Uh, I call them
Oh shit.
I call them the Chicago Three. For whatever reason, they were my tag team partners in my first match in Japan at Broken Hall. So it was like kind of a full circle weird moment, and one of those things that I really loved about wrestling, and that was cool.
That's awesome. I love that story, dude. That's amazing. And you got your jacket from over there, your steak jacket.
Yeah, the Ribera steak jacket. That's one of those things too.
Yeah, your Rivera.
It's like a marker. If you want to say you're a comp, that might be something you want to get. It was a very proud moment. Um, yeah, it was a very proud moment. I teared up a little bit. I have to say, it was a dream come true.
Heck yeah.
So, what was it like when you first broke into the business?
What was it like? It was. We were outsiders here in Montreal. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but there's an English minority and a French majority out here, and
Yeah.
we were just a couple of English kids, with me and Manny and Sexy Eddie, a few others, Arsenal,
Manny.
just trying to just try to have fun, right? The first few shows we did, we took gym mats and ropes and tied them to the pillars in this basement, and we packed the house. That's the thing with us from day one, because we had like social lives, and we were like kind of cool people in the city. We've always had crowds, right? And so it only encouraged us. And even though in the beginning, I have to say, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Most of us didn't. We were barely trained, a little bit of training, not so much. Over the years, I've obviously tried to work on that, and now I think I'm pretty proficient. But in the beginning, it was just trying shit out, trying to be creative, trying to be violent, just doing our own thing, because the scene here, we were really looked on as black sheep. There was some real jealousy from the French people, because we got tons of crowds, and we started going down to the States, and a lot of these French feds, all of them actually had no exposure anywhere outside Quebec. They didn't export any product whatsoever, and so our success really pissed some people off. But eventually, we were just undeniable, and IWS is now a worldwide thing, really.
So, will you speak on doing the first exploding ring and fan bring the weapons deathmatch in Canada?
Yeah, well, there was first Exploding Ring and first Fans with the Weapons match. Well, at the time, I didn't think about it that much, but we knew we wanted to be the first, and we knew, we just wanted to do some crazy shit. The Exploding Ring match was definitely an inspiration from Japan. As soon as the first time I saw that shit with Onita and Hayabusa, I was like, I want to do that shit so badly. And so that was really fun, hitting the barbed wire and having that shit explode. It was really, really dope. The fans bring the weapons. I'm not sure who came up with that idea. Definitely wasn't mine. It was probably Manny's. I'm not sure where he heard of it. Uh, but when we did it, people went crazy. People really went crazy. They loved it so much that it opened more doors for IWS than ever. Those death matches, the fans bring the weapons. People really
Yeah.
popped that shit.
Hell yes.
Have,
So, do
have
you
you
have a?
seen those?
No, I haven't seen. I've seen some. I've seen a lot of the IWS tapes.
Okay,
I haven't seen the exploding one. No, I think I've seen one of the fans bring the weapons.
okay. Where
Oh
have you
no,
guys heard of me from? Like, why did
I've heard of you from IWTV.
IWTV?
Yes, sir. And
Watch it.
XPW.
XPW. Okay.
And XPW. Yes. So, my first time watching you was I think it was XPW, and it was you and Sexy Eddie versus I want to say it was the international woman with Shadow and Pondo, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
That's the match that got me to Japan. I was really proud of that because I made Shadow.
And,
It was a decent match and made Shadow look really good, and he was happy. And yeah,
Heck yeah.
and then I seen you. It was the another one for the IWTV belt. It was Tremont you. Um, was it Kobayashi or I
where
know
was
it was
that?
the
An IWTV belt. I don't remember ever fighting for that one. It could be with
the ICW belt. My fault. It was the ICW belt.
maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure if there was a belt there, but yeah, that was with Tremont. What else? New Zealand guy. The death match. Something. I forget the little guy. I forget the other two guys in that match, but it was in Jersey for WrestleMania weekend last weekend. Yeah.
Yes. So, do you have any traveling plans for 2025 to come to the States or anything?
Not really. Honestly, your government kind of scares me a little bit these days. Uh,
I, I, I understand that.
and I went down. I was just there for WrestleMania weekend in Vegas, and once I was there, GCW asked me to be in the clusterfuck match, but I didn't even bring my gear this time because I was worried about because I got stopped a long time ago. Like I was worried about the work permit stuff, and I didn't want to get in trouble, so I just left my gear at home and I didn't wrestle. But I could have this weekend, but we'll see about we'll see. I'm definitely thinking about next year WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans. We'll see what's going on. Again,
Ooh.
the politics down there are a little weird for this Canadian.
My politics in America scare me in general, and I'm just gonna say that. Yes, sir. I get with the green. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. Every single way, every single day, baby.
So, what is your hobbies out of the ring?
My hobbies out of the ring are plentiful. Probably the reason why I'm not more of a wrestling star. If I had applied myself in wrestling more, I think I'd be closer to my buddies up at the top. Um, anyway, what do I do outside of wrestling? I have my own beer at a local bar over here.
Oh, wow.
The Green Phantom Ale. It's a great green beer. I host a trivia night every week at a local bar as well. I play rugby. I play hockey. I do stand-up comedy around the scene here in Montreal. I famously had a 10-day run at Just for Laughs a few years ago. I coach youth football as well as many other things, man. What do you do outside
Oh
the
yeah.
ring?
So, what is the biggest match of your career so far?
I mean, it's hard to say. Probably. I mean, my first. I mean, some of my matches at Cork and Hall were probably, for me, anyways, a pinnacle kind of moment. But there's a few. There's a couple of main events I had with Nick Gage, the GCW crew
That was a good one.
here in
Ooh.
Montreal and also in New Jersey. They were pretty cool. I did the
That was
tournament
a good one.
rival. It was pretty cool. But I guess I mean, biggest match just because people ask me about it all the time is that tournament death match. Even though it was only a first round match, people remember it so much that I guess I have to say that's one of them. Another one people talk about too is me and this guy Onyx against Sabu and PCO. That was a pretty good big one too at the main event here at the Medley in Montreal.
Hey. So, will you speak on the song, your song "Get with the Green"?
Oh, that's another one of my hobbies. I forgot to mention music. I love that shit. Um, I don't know. I was just really bored, and I'm a very creative person, and I want to get out some of this creativity. And I love music, and I'm like, you know what? I should do my own track. Without even the idea of it becoming my entrance music. I just wanted to make a cool song because I love hip hop, and I have a couple of really talented friends that I kept pushing, and and forcing their hand. They had to help me out. And then once the song was done, it was like so amazing. I loved it so much that I knew right away I had to make a video for it. And again, I have really talented friends bust their balls to make this video with me, and it's just so cool. You know, to watch it on, listen to it on Spotify. Like I play it for people. Maybe they're lying to me because they're scared to hurt me, but I think it's dope, and I'm still not sick of it. I've heard it 1,000 times, and I still think it's a really dope track. And the video is really awesome too. That's what you get.
Yeah.
You have really talented friends, you know, and passionate people to do that shit. And then when I'm here and there, I perform it actually coming to the ring. And that's another dream come true that I never knew I had. Here I am rapping to 1,000 people. You know, people all over the world. It's kind of wild, crazy.
It was, I liked it a lot. I listened to it on YouTube. Shut up. So, what is your worst injury or major one?
Fuck, man. Fresh in my mind, I'm still fucked up. A few weeks ago, I was wrestling Effie and Jimmy Lloyd, and they double suplexed me through this light tube contraption, and they fucked up in the sense they were supposed to go right through the middle of it, and they hit me on the side, and man, I've never felt more pain in a match, and it was like a huge watermelon, not a cantaloupe bruise developed on my hip, and I couldn't walk for a week. I fought through that match so hard because after that I was only on one leg, and so I was out for a fucking month with that, and it was so goddamn painful.
Yeah.
Because
And I know
because I did the rest of the match on the one leg, is why it sticks to my mind so much. But really, the injuries that put me out forever. I had a broken elbow in a match. I was doing trying to imitate Sabu, jumping out, doing the triple jump to the outside. Kevin Steen or Kevin Owens was out on a table on the outside, and I went to jump on him, and I somehow missed and hit the floor. Broke my elbow, so that sucked. I had to get an operation. The one that people pot for the most, though, is I got my left nut crushed a while ago, about 10 years ago, doing my Phantasm move. Something happened. I don't know what the fuck, but the guy's head and my nut and the canvas made a sandwich, and my nut was crushed. It was tough. It blew up to the size of a fucking cantaloupe. It was ridiculous. Got
shit!
Black ball between my legs. It was like a watermelon. It was fucked up.
Oh my!
Thankfully, after a few months, it healed, and it's pretty good down there now. No more. We're good.
Seeing how you said you like hip hop, who will you say is your favorite hip hop artist?
Shit. It's hard to say just one. You know.
Yeah.
But I'd say Wu-Tang Clan was a big one for me.
Ooh, Wu-Tang?
All the veins of them, you know. A guy here in Canada named Classified, who's pretty dope. KRS-One, I don't know if you know him. Yeah, to name a few.
Heck yeah.
So what's some promotions, tournaments, and stuff that you would like to do in 2025?
I mean, I've done every major promotion I've wrestled for here in North America. You know, I would like to go back to Japan and compete in their tournaments, not just wrestle for Big Japan, but into that tournament. That'd be cool. It's a really good bucket list. You know, besides that, I'm not really trying too hard to get out there anymore. But I'm always willing to, you know, definitely love to travel and love to do more shit. But, you know, I can't say there's anything really particular that I want to go after right now. Maybe wrestle on the West Coast would be kind of cool. I think what's it? There's a promotion in LA, like Circle 6. Is that
Circle 6 is awesome. I like them. They're pretty good promotion.
Are they in LA?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess there. I guess I'd like to go there in next year. But again, your country's a bit fucked up right now, so I'm not trying too hard to go. But if someone really wants to bring me, I'll probably end up going. But you No, I'm not trying too hard there.
The question from me. Phantom, any memories working with the Hardcore Ninja or the Arsenal? And any memories or stories from Unfucking Sanctioned 2003?
Um, well, I can't remember that specific date, 2003. My date knowing is kind of fucked up. But the Arsenal and the Ninjas, I mean, they're at the time they were my best buds. We were just trying out shit together. We were basically backyarders, fucking around, in front of big crowds and being given opportunities to be broadcast around the world and stuff. It was a really good time. The even to this day, they're probably the most hardcore guys I've wrestled for many years. I mean, they were just willing to do anything and willing and really creative with their spots, and I just love those guys to death, man.
So, is there anyone you would like to call up for a match?
Anybody I'd like to call out? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
anybody where you need a hardcore hero. And it seems the world needs a hero these days. So someone has to call on me to come save the day, baby.
Hell yeah, Green Panther.
Heck yeah.
So, how did Rob treat you when you worked for XPW? And how did Danny treat you when you worked for ICW?
Both amazing. I've heard I've heard stories about bad treatment, but I have to say that I didn't see that at all anywhere. They were both really respectful with me. Both paid me what they promised to pay me, and they both gave me an opportunity on their shows, and so I'm grateful for all of it. You know, they're good in my books. You know, I don't know what to say. Yeah, good.
So, who would you say is the most honorable name you've ever been in the ring with?
I mean, probably Kevin and Ramy. Sorry, Kevin, Sami Zayn, El Generico, probably maybe Sheamus, maybe Sabu,
Ooh.
Rob Van Dam, maybe. You know, there's a bunch I can't think about right now. But yeah, I've been really, really fortunate, and I've shared backstages with and cars with legends. You know, I'm very, very, very fortunate. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, will you speak about wearing a mask and getting stuff like glass or light two pieces into the mask?
It's a layer of protection, man, for sure. I'm not nearly as susceptible to head cuts as some other people are, right? Obviously, although I still get my head split open when I get hit with a chair or whatever. It still happens. Speaking of masks, would you like to see what's underneath this mask?
Yes.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Yes.
Sure. Okay, this
Yeah.
is a moment in time, right? What's underneath Green Phantom's mask? Well, maybe it's just another mask, you know.
Oh, that's cool as fuck. That's cool as fuck.
Heck
I like
yeah.
that mask. I like that one better.
You like this
That
one
is
better?
cool.
Cool.
That is cool.
Seeing how you wear a mask, have you ever wrestled without your mask?
A very, very short time here at a very small federation here in Montreal, a French federation. I was their champion for a minute, and yeah, I went under my real name pretty much, and yeah, without a mask.
So, where does Green Phantom see his career in 5 to 10 years from now?
Fuck, man, I don't know. I hope it's not over. I mean, last year was one of the busiest years I've ever had wrestling, and this year it's slowed down significantly so far. So if this trend continues, it's not going to be too long. But honestly, I hope I can still do it in that time. You know, I'm getting up there in the years, but I feel like I'm in great shape. I'm the best wrestler I've ever been. I'm still just as hardcore, and I'm in better shape, and I'm smarter. So um, if it goes well, I'll just keep adding to my list of notoriety. You know, and I want to keep growing as Green Phantom. You know, I'll be going back to Japan, and we'll see what else. What else?
So, one of my favorite matches of yours is when you was facing Masada in King of the Death Matches 2015,
Oh,
and
really?
another one.
I'm surprised because I think that year that match made Botchmania. I think it was like number 9, like the whole match, because there were so
And
many
then,
weird things that fucked up in that match. What like I don't know, like shit I've never seen before in my life. Like somehow there was like plastic light tubes, like they bent. Like what the fuck is that? I've never seen that before or since. Somehow we couldn't see each other or walking all weird. And, I mean, we just didn't have very good chemistry. I didn't think it was as bad as people said it was, but definitely there was a lot of fuck ups. Even the ending sequence, like we weren't on the same page. Uh, you know, he's cool. We just don't have chemistry. I think if we fight again, we'll have a much better match.
Bryant Woods and you and Queen of the Death Matches in 2015.
What about that match? I mean, it was an okay match. He fucked up on his finish. He didn't put me through that cabin quite as he should have, but that's out of my control, you know. But you know, it seemed it was a decent match. You know, nothing special. I'm sure again, if we wrestle again, we might have a better one.
Yeah, I couldn't find that match anywhere, to be honest.
It's on a.
So,
It's like on a DVD that I have somewhere.
what is the most brutal match you've ever had?
The most brutal. Well, maybe that Necro one, man. That was whenever anytime you break your nose and get an orbital bone fucking bruise. It was pretty tough.
Oh, God.
You know, but I would say just as I was telling my story about Effie and Jimmy Lloyd, like that match was about a month and a half ago, and it was so brutal because the spot happened at the beginning of the match. I was light tubes all over the place, and some really cool spots. And it was just so brutal for me because I was in so much pain, and I had to keep going and do all these moves on one foot and stuff, and still, and I was in pain for like a month. You know? So in that sense, the brutality really stretched out. So yeah, it's funny that after 25 years, I'm only having my most brutal match now. Like I wanted to have that years ago, not now. You know.
That's great. But I thank you for your time, sir.
Hold on a sec, brother.
Uh-oh.
Hey, come back here. Get it. Sorry, I just had to control my dog there.
Oh, you're fine. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of your matches and stuff, and I was gonna do you last month, but I got sick, and then I got sick yesterday, so I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, where are you guys situated?
So we're in Kentucky in the United States.
Kentucky. Okay, you're far then. Yeah.
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 I was in Kentucky years ago when I had an OVW tryout for a couple.
Oh,
I
wow. OVW. I used to watch that on Saturday nights, bro, when I was younger.
Yeah, I was out there about 15, 20 years ago, something like that. Not that long ago. Anyway, my coaches out there were Jim Cornette, Danny Davis, and Tom Pritchard.
Oh shit! How was your time out there?
I mean, it was quite the learning experience. But I knew at that time that I probably wasn't what they were looking for. You know, which kind of broke my heart a little bit. But it was cool. Cool learning experience. I learned a lot about the business. Met a lot of cool people. I was in the same class as MVP, and actually I saw MVP because I do extra work for WWE whenever they come to town, and it's cool like to see guys like MVP or whatever, and they still remember me from way back then, or Sheamus. You know, it's cool.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
that's cool.
That is cool. But yes, sir, I thank you for your time.
All right. What's the name of this podcast? What's the name of this?
Deathmatch Avengers.
The
Deathmatch
Deathmatch Avengers. That sounds like
Yes,
a hero
sir.
name. Cool. So
Well,
we've
when we
heard that
first
before.
started, we switched our name. Actually, we switched our name. We started out as Wild Blood Brothers, and then we switched it to Deathmatch Avengers.
Okay. Do you guys have a lot of listeners and followers?
Yeah, we come here. Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
I'd like to tell all your followers, get with the green every day, every single way, baby, and make sure you share and like everything on Green Phantom on Instagram, and share and like the Deathmatch Avengers. Get with the green, baby. Your hardcore heroes
Is
out.
there
Yeah.
anything? I don't think I asked you, but is there anything you would like to plug? Upcoming shows?
Come to Montreal June 20th for
LinkedIn.
IWS's next big event. Besides that, I'm not sure what's going on with my future, but we'll see.
Is that Green Phantom?
That's it, Green Phantom.